We all know that when buying or selling a home, curb appeal can make the difference between a slow down and a keep driving. So maybe you've thought of selling your home, but your garden lacks a little luster. Or perhaps you've just purchased a home and want to plant a little piece of paradise, but have no idea where to begin. Well, fear not, because today my special guest is the garden guru himself. He has appeared on Cityline, the Home Shopping Channel, and his new hit show, HGTV's Home to Win. He is Carson Arthur, and today we're talking all things gardening on this episode of To Realty and Beyond. Okay, so we're just driving over right now to the client's house. They've just moved into this house not too long ago, and they had a company, it's actually my husband's company, not to give shouts out, but Paradisaic Building Group built their beautiful deck, and so they've got some gorgeous planter boxes that are now sitting empty, and they need some attention. And so that is what we're going to do today with Carson, is we're going to fill those planter boxes. So one fun thing that we're going to do is, for the last month, I've been promoting Tweet to Meet on Twitter, and people have been writing in their questions for Carson, and we're going to pick 2 or 3 depending on time for Carson to answer, and we'll see what the people want to ask him and what kind of things that they want to find out from him. So I think that should be kind of a fun thing to do. Carson, nice to meet you.
You too. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready for this.
I love your gardening outfit. This is perfect.
Thank you. I thought it was very summery and garden-like.
Yes, definitely all of that. All right, so let's talk about plants.
I'm ready to do
Why
this.
don't
Let's
you stand
go.
on this side.
Okay.
Okay, so that you have a little extra height into the garden bed.
Perfect.
So more and more people are investing in their backyard spaces, which
Yes.
I love, because as a landscaper, this is the type of outdoor paradise that people want.
Right.
But you need plants to really finish it off.
Yes.
Do you actually garden?
I don't. I did not inherit my mother's green thumb, unfortunately. She has a gorgeous garden, and I cannot even keep a cactus alive.
Don't worry.
I need some help.
Yeah, there's a
Help me,
whole generation that actually skip gardening.
Okay,
They
that
want
would
backyard patios and luxury,
Yes.
hot tubs, not a lot of plants.
Not a lot of plants.
But now we're seeing that you need the plants, especially from the environmental aspect.
Right.
So for a big planter like this, it's sort of a representation of what you can do in your backyard, but you could do this with a small planter, you could do it with anything.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so what we're gonna do today is we're gonna talk about planting annuals.
Okay.
Now annuals mean one season and they're done.
One season only, okay.
And the reason why I like planting annuals for homeowners is because it's not a lot of commitment.
Right.
And if you get it wrong, it didn't cost you a
It
lot of
didn't
money.
cost a lot.
So
Very
it's not
good.
a lot of stress. Now you'll often see people planting a plant like this in the middle, like a euphorbia or something
Right.
with spiky leaves.
Yes.
And the reason why you do that is because it creates visual height.
Right. So I heard a saying at a nursery. He said, 1 to thrill, 1 to fill, and 1 to spill.
And that's exactly right.
Okay.
Okay, but what that means is, so 1 to thrill is the showstopper.
Right.
Something to really like add impact.
Okay, so that's our spiky plant.
That's your spiky plant.
Perfect.
Although some people will use this as your fill plant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you can actually apply that sort of strategy to different types of things.
Right,
The
okay.
spiky plant, the reason I like the height is if you plant everything flat, it looks very one-dimensional.
Right, okay.
So we're creating height, we're creating texture. The middle's
Perfect.
always a nice spot to do it. You
Right.
could do it with this annual. If you wanted to add more year-round interest,
Okay.
you could use a cedar,
Oh,
a juniper, anything evergreen with some height. You just have to make sure that your planter's insulated.
Ah, okay, good to know.
Yeah,
Very
yeah,
good.
because the roots will freeze over the winter time.
Okay.
And that's not necessarily a good thing for us.
So if we're going easy care, we want something like this. If we're going for a little bit more permanency, we want to use a cedar, but make sure the box is insulated.
Exactly. And
Okay,
again,
great.
the soil doesn't matter as much.
Okay.
Okay. If you're planting it straight in the ground, you'd be working with clay and some of the soils
Right.
in your neighborhood. In a planter box, you're bringing in soil.
Right, okay.
A lot easier, okay? Then what you're talking about, and this is your fill plant, so to
Fill
speak.
plants, yeah.
So this is one of the types of tropicals that I like to use. And I like to use tropicals in a backyard space because they love heat.
Oh, okay, good to know.
So if you're going to go away for the weekend, or maybe you want to go to the cottage or
Yes,
that sort of
yeah.
thing, tropical plants will do better in a drier, hot, or heat-tolerant situation.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
So now full sun for these then?
They can handle full sun.
Okay, great.
And then this is their spill plant. These are ivies. Now again, this is a grape ivy, which is an annual variety with a variegated leaf. A little
Okay.
bit extra interest, very nice, very easy, but it's going to cascade over the side of your planter.
Now, are these the type of thing that if you plant a few, they're going to sort of over the season grow out?
To a certain extent.
Okay.
The problem is, with most of our entertaining that we want to do,
Right.
it's June, July, August, right?
Absolutely.
These are going to really spill over in September.
Okay.
Which isn't going to help us.
Which is not when you want it, right?
So you want instant effect. So most people will buy a lot of these types of plants
I
and
see.
really fill up the planter.
Okay.
Because that's the way the landscapers cheat.
Yes.
They
Ah,
give you
there we go.
instant
See,
appeal.
I knew
Exactly.
it.
So when you're planting these, obviously your spill plants are going to be close to the edge.
Right.
Okay. The other thing we have here are some flowering plants. Now flowering are really important because they add the interest, they add the appeal.
Right.
Look for some scented varieties as well.
Oh,
If
okay.
you're going to do planters like this beside the patio, having a great scent at night when you're out, you're
Right.
barbecuing, what a great way to go.
Okay.
We're also seeing more and more people incorporating vegetables
Yes.
into their outdoor spaces.
And we're going to talk about vegetables.
I see you have some.
We do. So we have a few wonderful varieties that were donated by Grow Tasty Organic Nursery here.
Nice, okay. So we've got some cucumber, we've got some peppers. When you're talking about vegetables in the outdoor space, you can 100% grow these in planters on your patio.
Okay.
So easy, so simple. The thing that you have to remember with vegetables, they need a lot more water.
Ah, okay.
Aha. So your tropical plants, these sorts of things, can handle the heat, handle a little bit more drought,
Right.
allow you to go on vacation.
These do not.
As soon as you start committing to vegetables, you need a lot more water. Because remember, these are producing fruit. In this
Right.
case, it's the peppers, the cucumbers, there's some tomato
We've
plants
got
in there.
some tomato plants here, yeah.
When you start producing or getting plants to produce fruit, they have to have more energy. More energy requires lots of water.
Right,
Okay.
okay.
And lots of care. You don't necessarily have to fertilize these,
Oh.
but you do have to baby them a little bit.
Okay.
Okay?
Good to know. So now, as far as watering gardens overall,
Mhm.
do you suggest daily watering?
Depends on the plants.
Oh, okay.
If you're the type of person who isn't going to be home a lot, you're going to be away,
Okay.
look for plants that are either tropicals
Right.
or that have gray leaves.
Gray leaves. Okay.
Gray leaves are a sign of something called xerophyte.
Oh.
Xerophyte means it needs a lot less water.
Ah, okay.
So if you're in Palm Springs or in the desert, you'll see a lot of the cacti
Yes.
have a grayer sheen to the leaf. They're not the deep, rich
Okay.
green. Good sign that it will do well in your hot, dry situation.
Perfect.
Okay.
So I need to have a fully gray garden then.
That's one look for sure.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. Well, I thought that it would sort of be a fun thing. I was asking, leading up into the show to have people do tweet to me.
Oh, here
So
come the questions.
we got some tweets coming through here. So
Bring it
we're going to
on.
ask you a few questions. I'm just going to pull it up here. Okay, so Aaron Couto says, Carson, how do I keep my plants pest-free without the use of harmful chemicals? That's a good question because
Yeah,
a lot of people want to
absolutely.
go chemical-free now.
Especially around vegetables or in spaces
Yes.
where there's kids. So we're starting to see more and more options that are from things that you would find in your refrigerator.
Oh, okay.
For example, for pests, I love using a combination of garlic. So
Garlic,
just straight
okay.
garlic cloves in water, boiled for about 3 hours.
Okay.
Okay, so you're gonna really reduce it, really make it funky smelling.
Yeah.
You're gonna put it in a spray bottle and you're gonna spray your plants with that.
Perfect. So garlic, not so good for a date, but awesome as a pesticide.
Yeah, or vampires, not so good, but awesome as a pesticide, or for rabbits.
Oh, okay.
Another option, you can take 1 aspirin,
Right.
put it in a 750 milliliter bottle of water,
Okay.
shake it up, spray your plants with that.
Now, why does the aspirin work?
Aspirin is great because it contains acetylsalic acid.
Okay.
Especially for things like your tomato plants, aphids and mealyworms,
Right.
they don't like the acid, so they leave it alone.
Okay.
But it's great for us,
Right.
so we don't have to worry about it. All right,
Okay.
what's the next one?
Okay, so our next one comes from Richard Janak, and he says, evergreens are found in every low maintenance garden. Are there flowering varieties that offer color choices
Of evergreens?
of evergreen?
No,
There's nothing.
that was easy.
That was easy.
No, the truth is the reason why evergreens are so important in low maintenance gardens,
Okay.
for the most part, they hold their shape. So
Right,
you tend not
okay.
to have to do a ton of pruning or a ton of care or a ton of leaf cleanup,
Oh, okay.
right? Which is why they're so important and a staple in a low maintenance garden.
Right.
Often what we do is we'll put the evergreen in and then we'll plant flowering things around them.
Around it, okay.
That's usually what works best for most homeowners instead
Okay.
of trying to find a flowering evergreen, which doesn't really
Doesn't
exist.
exist. Okay.
Not in our climate anyways.
Right, right. Okay, so our last tweet comes from Jules Bug, and she wants to know, Carson, why are you so handsome?
Ah, where do you go with that one?
You got it from
It's
your
'cause I
mama.
got it from my mom.
There
That's
you
because I
go.
work outside. I have the best job ever. I get to play in people's backyards.
You do.
And I love it. And, it doesn't hurt the tan.
Well, there you go. Well, I want to thank you so much, Carson.
My
It's been
pleasure.
awesome
Yeah,
having
I
you
get a
out
hug.
here. There we go. So nice to finally meet you. And thank you so much for helping everybody get their garden started or up their garden game with some vegetables
Absolutely. And improve their property value.
and improve their property value. Always a good thing. Well, I'm Vanessa Shelley, and I want to thank you guys for watching this episode of To Realty and Beyond.